All right. So I wanted to make a quick video. I received a couple emails from students with questions about the sketching assignment for Module 2. So I wanted to do a quick video just to kind of give you some ideas and walk you through some methods to get started with this. Okay, so the first two sketching sheets are a little bit different than what we did in the first video, or the first module, I should say. So this is the number 6, which is the first one in module 2. And you can see in these, you're given 2 views, and you're asked to complete the third view. In each case here, it's the front view. So you're given a top and a right side view, and you're asked to complete the front view. So a couple things to get started with this. First of all, be prepared to print this out a couple times. Okay, you could consider the first one your rough draft. The grid in some cases can get in the way, especially when you're trying to figure out what this is going to look like. So if you don't want to print it out a couple times, if you just want to print it out once, then this becomes your final copy. And what you've got to do is you got to take a blank sheet of paper and use it to sketch on. So I have one here, and I'll show you what you can do. Now you can either just roughly sketch it, it's not a big deal, or you can trace it like this, which is what I'll do just to keep it accurate. So, and this is a rough draft, so I don't have to worry too much about my lines and things like that. So I'm just going to sketch this in here like that, and then I can move on. Okay, so in this first one, and in the other ones, how do we start to tackle this? Well, a good way to start is to just frame it in. Okay, so I can project the top view down and project the right side view across, and then I can see that the object is going to be framed in here. That doesn't mean that each of these is going to be an edge, but it's at least going to be contained within this, looks like a square here. Next, I want to try to understand the edges that are being displayed, especially the interior edges. So in the top view, I see that there's a visible edge right there. That means that this edge is going to be visible from the top view. From the top view, looking down this way, I can see this edge. So somewhere right on there, there's an edge that's visible. Now here, I have a hidden edge, right? So that means that somewhere along here, inside here, there's going to be a hidden surface, a hidden edge, I should say. Okay, maybe an edge, maybe a surface, and what I figure out then is that if it's visible here and hidden here, then really what this means is it's got to be a V-shaped groove, right? It's got to be a V-shaped groove. So I can kind of darken this in now, get these lines a little bit better, more visible, darker, and there we go. Okay. So that's the first one. Now if we move on to another one, I'll just do another one. I don't want to do too many of these for you. It'll take all the fun away. Why don't we do this object here? This is a little bit tricky. Okay. They're all, tricky in their own way, but this one up here. So again, I'm going to use this method of just tracing over this, right? And then here. Okay. And then I can frame this in. Right. Now, again, using that idea, right? So in the top view, there's something hidden underneath, right? Underneath this top surface, there's something going on here. And likewise, there's a hidden edge here. So something is going on right over there. And we can trace this across, project it, I should say. And then we can project this across, and project this across. And once I think about it, what this really is this is a channel going through under the bottom of this block. So we have a block here, right? And then there's a channel going through it, and the channel is kind of askew. It's at an angle. So in the front view, this is going to be a visible edge. Okay. This is a surface, the edge view of a surface, and so it's going to end right here. Okay. And likewise the same thing. This is going to be visible, right? And then this is because if this is the opening right in here, we're looking through there. This back edge, this edge is visible, right? And we can see it. This back edge is going to be hidden, right? Okay. Now I haven't finished that yet, okay? So, and I'm not going to finish it on purpose because I want you all to think about it. So I've gotten you 90%, 99% there. There's still some detail down here that you have to consider, okay? So we'll leave it just like that, okay? So these you definitely have to think about. You have to think in 3 dimensions, what could possibly be these shapes. And then once you have what you think is the solution, make sure you check it and make sure that it makes sense, all right? Let's move on to the second sheet here, okay? So this is the same idea, right? Same idea as the first sheet. The only difference is, one, they're starting you out with a, little area here. And 2, you're not always just adding the front view. So here we have a top and right side view, but then you're going to develop the front view. But here we have a front and right side view, so you're creating the top view, okay? These are a little bit more complex than the first ones. So let's see how we could have a go at this first one. Now you notice this surface right here, that's an inclined surface, right? It's not vertical, it's not horizontal, so it's inclined, which means that the surface that is being represented by this edge, surfaces I should say, by this edge, are going to be foreshortened, right? They're going to be not shown true shape and size. So in other words, this edge, right, which is horizontal, corresponds to that edge right there. Or excuse me, that surface. So this is a true shape and size surface. This is the true shape of that edge, right, because it's horizontal. Likewise down here, this is vertical. And so right there, I'm not going to draw this too much because I know that there's something else going on over there. And yeah, I'm going to break my cardinal sin here because I'm doing a demo. And I am going to erase. But this surface right here is that surface right there. So look, we can project that right there. Right? And right there. Now, this is this shape right in here, and it's kind of foreshortened. So look, let's get our box in there. Get our box. Right there. And that edge right there corresponds to that right there, which corresponds to that right there. So what I end up with is something that looks like this. Okay. So here's my foreshortened surface. My inclined surface right there, foreshortened. So this surface right here is right there, is right here. Okay, so there we go. We have a surface right there, which is right there. This edge view is this view right there. Okay. So I don't know any other tips. I mean, I suppose I could talk about counting edges and endpoints, where you do something like this. This is 1, that point is 1, this point is 2, this point is 3, this point is 4. In your textbook, they do an example like this or examples like this. And then we know that that right there. So this is the point view of 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. But I hesitate to show you that method because A, I don't think it's necessary, and B, it's a method that is going to require you to definitely have a rough draft and to work everything out, right? And to and then have another sheet that you're going to put the final copy down, right? So remember that every edge has got to show up in every view, okay? So we can track like this. It's hard to do this, without having a rough draft. I'll be honest with you. Because you gotta kind of play around with things and figure out where they end and where they start. So even I would probably, like I'm a professional sketcher, but even I would probably need a second sheet for my final copy, okay? Because it gets a little rough in there while you're trying to frame ideas in. All right, so I hope that helps. If it doesn't help or you have, specific questions about problems, email me. If we need to, we can do a meeting, a WebEx meeting. That's not a problem. If I, need to make another video, then that's also fine. All right. So that's it for right now. I'll see you in the next video.